Hey, Shabbat Shalom Mishpacha. Welcome to another edition of the Haftarah Hashings. This Haftarah Hashings is number 39, which is called Kuchat, which means statutes or regulations, and it's taken from the book of Judges, chapter 11. Now, in the book of Judges here, we read the story of Japheth, or Jephthah, I should say, who was asked to be the leader and general of Israel's army to go out and defeat the enemy, and Japheth makes this vow to God. You know what, if you let me win, whatever comes out of my house to greet me, I'm going to sacrifice unto you. So we read this passage and we're thinking to ourselves when we read it, gee, I hope this passage doesn't mean what I think it means. If so, whew, that's harsh. A lot of people walk away with the impression that the Haftarah portion here deals with human sacrifice, where Jephthah sacrifices his daughter. Let me read to you from the commentary I had written. It says, just as in our Torah portion, we reel over the fact that Moses and Aaron are denied entrance into the promised land over what we may see as petty. If we can sum up the moral of the story, it would be careful what you promise, be careful what you vow. Rabbi Samuel Kimke says that is vav in the word venal lettehu means or, and, not, and. Basically meaning that Jephthah would offer up a sacrifice if that which came out of his house was appropriate for sacrifice according to the Torah. So in other words, since God doesn't approve of human sacrifice, and his daughter came out to celebrate, she was the first thing that he saw, and he said, I have to offer her up to the Lord. So we automatically think, he's going to sacrifice, because when he made the vow, he intended upon sacrifice. He thought maybe one of the animals would come out to greet him, but it was his daughter. So does that mean that he sacrificed her? Well, no, because it was a Torah prohibition against human sacrifice. So therefore, what is the equivalent of a human sacrifice, of somebody being dead, somebody giving up somebody's life? Well, being a woman, giving up your life means that you will deny yourself of having any children. So in other words, to fulfill Jephthah, to be able to fulfill his vow to God, did not offer her up as a burnt offering or as a sacrifice per se, but offered her up to be celibate the rest of her life, that she would not marry. In other words, that she would end up becoming an old maid, and that she would spend the rest of her life in service to God. So therefore, she goes off, his daughter goes off to her friends to mourn her perpetual virginity for the rest of her life, realizing that she's not going to have any children, she's not going to marry, she's not going to know what it's like to be a wife or a mother, but she's going to spend her life in service to God. So the Talmud, on the other hand, says that if he did sacrifice his daughter, Tanit 4a, it was to teach us a serious lesson on making vows. So I personally don't think that he literally sacrificed her as a burnt offering, because even though God told Abraham to test his faithfulness to him, offer up your son Isaac, Abraham was more than compliant, and God was against human sacrifice. Therefore, he provided a ram as a substitute. In this case as well, I believe that God had provided a substitute. Instead of literally giving her up as a burnt offering, she gave her life in total devotion and service, and would not know the joys of life springing from her womb. So she was good as dead. Her womb was dead. She gave the potential life that would ever have been in her womb to God. She sacrificed her entire life, the rest of her life, not to marry, not to have children, but to serve her, to spend the rest of her life in service to God. She would grow up to be an old maid. So that is the Haftarah portion, and my comments on it for this week. So thanks for watching, and shalom and shavuot tov. Bye-bye, guys.